jump back into the Conjuration Tower. What sort of things that you would like to do?
So Brennick now having been through and just to remind me when somebody steps through this door on the right, they show up on the left in the other room, right?
Door on
Or
the
on the
right,
right.
actually.
Sorry.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, so it's essentially like almost like a mirror, like you go in one way and you come back out, back the other way.
Into the outdoor.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Brannick having been in that room and seeing the symbols and seeing that they seem to match the shapes that this creature is taking. Brannick is going to suggest we take some time. He wants to watch this creature and see if there's a pattern in the shapes that it takes, or if it seems to morph at random into different creatures.
Roll an intelligence.
Now, from last time, it's a sequence time, and if I recall correctly from last time.
Yeah, like I think it was like every minute or so. I was just like, is it always like say like snake, rat, owl, cat, snake, rat, owl, cat, or is it kind of just random changes?
How long do you think you are investing in trying to figure out this pattern?
I think I'd want to, if it is changing every minute or so, probably watch it for about 12, 15 minutes, enough to get through like 3 cycles. If the other, if the party is willing to spend that time. You might
Yeah,
even take out like a quill and like some paper and just like almost like keep notes.
I could always eat more.
So when you watch this, it is going to go cat, snake, owl, snake, owl, rat, snake, cat, owl, cat, owl, snake, owl. My point is that you find out it's random, and that I rolled over half twos on a d4. There's too many twos. Too many twos.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough to. I can't discern any, unless it's some like super super long one where you have to essentially stay here for like 100 years to be like, oh, now okay, now I see it. It like repeats every like 3,000.
Fen, as you sit there and eat while the others are eating, you are going to start to feel a little bit of a sensation. I would like to have you roll a wisdom check for me, please. Never ask for a dice roll on something that you don't want to fail. What other kind of thoughts do you all have going on here as you find out this animal is not changing in a pattern, but random?
Is the so when Brennick spends his time watching it, does it seem to be like paying any attention to them? Like inside the cage, does it seem like curious about them, or just kind of doing its own thing?
It shows signs of being like a semi-intelligent creature. It's not intelligent, like some creatures that you all have seen. I would say vastly when you guys are just around the room. It's not necessarily paying attention to you. When you're closer to the cage, I think it's maybe even give me like an animal handling or like a insight here for perhaps gaining more. But more or less, I would say you're kind of picking up signs that it seems to act like the creatures that it is. Uh, yeah, I think that's kind of going to be the extent of it. Maybe the owl acts a little bit more curious than the rest. The snake is almost entirely ignoring you. The rat just kind of like seems to chew on things at random. And the cat almost, if you're close enough, kind of like tries to like rub up against the actual cage. But in the long run, these are more or less acting like the creatures that it is at any given time.
Gotcha. So I think Brannick is going to he's gonna maybe pick up some food off the table and actually kind of bring it over and see if this thing is hungry.
Italy,
Yeah, he's not
I
sure
think
if I don't know.
maybe same thing where like the snake probably doesn't show signs of eating. I feel like snakes want to kill their food. The rat will probably eat whatever gets put in the cage, but is maybe a little bit more hesitant when you're close. The cat might be a little bit picky. The owl might not necessarily have anything that it wants that is dead. This is also kind of is a killer.
Right. And I think I recall from watching the videos, but at one point, I think either Velixis or Fen or someone tried to walk into the other room holding the cage, and it disappeared when they entered into the other room. Right.
Indeed. I believe that was Fen who had it in hand, and when he arrived in the other room, he had nothing in his hands. So, Velixis, what are you doing? What kind of thoughts do you have?
So I'm actually, she's more or less, she's not trying to eat the food because she she's wary of it, but she does she does contemplate going through the door, but she's not sure too much of what to do once she gets to the other side.
So, stepping out of character, perhaps then, where is everybody at with this riddle? What sort of ideas do you all have about trying to figure out what you might aim for? Is
In terms of the symbols in the other room, were they look like painted on? Do they look like something that can be like depressed into the wall? Like are they um, things that like sticking out? Like
roll an Arcana.
because I think I recall like saying that one of them was like at one point like one of them was glowing, and maybe that changes to
I think
So, um, when you stepped in there, you could see that the actual symbols on the wall are indeed like a manipulation of the weed. They're arcane in their uh, origin. It's not something in the wall so much as there is a spell on the wall. Um, I think that's kind of the extent of what you get with a terrible roll.
gotcha.
I
So do
think
we? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was one of those. Did you Because I remember last week I believe I told you that Melissa was thinking about when she was told the information she was told she was thinking about trying to get the creature on the other side to basically make a contract with her as a another contract with her, but she already has one contract, and I think you said you was going to look into that to see. Like, I just wanted to know if you had a chance to do that because if so, then I think I know what I may go with. About
So
getting the word.
I kind of have two thoughts in mind there. Like I said, I don't think we've actually had you go in with Felixis yet. So if you would like to move in there and actually approach it with Felixis, you are certainly welcome to attempt so.
Okay, I won't just yet, because I know this is a little out of character, but I am going to think about how I'm going to work this one side, but I am going to walk through that with her, probably after Brandon B goes through, because I'm just going to figure out how to put this in the words for what I want to actually ask or request.
So I know we had opened the chest and it seemed to be empty. Did we try like actually feeling inside to see if I don't know there was like a hidden compartment or anything like that?
I think Ben checked it out and saw that it was empty. Didn't seem to be anything hidden inside.
Okay. Wasn't sure if it was just like a visual inspection or if they kind of like did a more thorough. Um,
What if the runes are like a combo lock? So we have Brannick stand by the runes, and then when the creature changes form on the first floor, go to that person will go to the second floor and tell them what symbol to touch, and then just keep repeating the process.
we confirmed that somebody in the other room can hear somebody in this room.
No, but I'm thinking between like if you each have one person stand by the runes, the other two could shuttle in and out of the second floor to tell them which ones to press. If that's even like I don't know, can the cage be opened?
You all have not yet tried to open the cage, and you also not tried to communicate between the rooms.
Okay.
So one thing that I did want to kind of point out here is, as with a lot of things, part of me presenting you with some stuff and then giving you a gap in time, including making a contract with the devil, is to not try to surprise me with it. If you give me time to think about things, something is more likely to go your way. So when you're thinking of a contract, please don't try to keep it a secret from me. Try to share it with me, Chad. I don't want this to be a secret because my goal is to make this successful for you, but it is also to give you honest answers. As with all things, you try to include me in it because when you are trying to break an egg open, if you're trying to break the game and you try to surprise me on something, it's far more likely that I'm going to say something fails because we're not actually using the time to have something successful. So, whatever you have in mind, you don't have to word it right yet, but try to share it with me so I can at least think about the thing. Trying to surprise me with something, will tend to give you less success because you're trying to surprise me instead of working with me. So that's one thing to keep in mind with the Devil's Contract. Another thing to keep in mind here is um, let's see. I think Ben, can I have an intelligence from you?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely get that. I'm not trying to do a surprise thing. It's the reason I worked the way I did when I was making that request because I actually forgot what I was asking until I started trying to write down what I was putting into words, and then I remembered. I asked you about merging souls, trying to merge souls with the devil, and how that would be a go with me having a contract with another devil as well. So
Do you
that's what it
remember
was.
what my answer was then, though?
I
Or is
do.
it still?
I do. You said that's interesting. I'm not sure how that will play out. I'm gonna look into that real quick, and I'll let you know.
There was
That,
another
that's
key part about that, though. Do you remember who you've got already a contract with? You're already dealing with Levistus. This is a lord of one of the hells. There are 4 creatures that are more powerful than Levistus in all of hell. And this is the devil that is stuck in this room. So I think Velixa should understand that this creature that you're going to try to deal with is probably far less powerful than the creature that you already have your soul kind of contracted with.
okay. Yeah, that's just honestly because that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to merge souls with him. Um, but mainly just to get so that Veliscus can gain more power. That was honestly just the gist of it. Beyond that, I don't think I thought of anything further other than
Yep.
getting more power.
I think you have a solid understanding that Levistus isn't going to hold you back from power. You've got access to plenty of power. Kill Valine. Fen, you are well aware that the door that you step through Well, I'm going to say this incorrectly, I think. I don't remember who specifically checked it last time, but when you step through the door, I feel like Fen was the first person, so it might have been when we were kind of having Brennick still kind of noticing things with Valixis left behind. But effectively, you all understand that when you step through the doorway to the other room, that door ceases to be a door for 1 minute. The creature is a creature for 1 minute before it turns into another creature. So part of the problem is going to be that you can't just walk through when you need to solve something. To see what is inside of that room, somebody needs to be inside of that room. To know what the creature is in this room, somebody needs to be in this room.
I mean, we could try it, Fen. Like if we're able to communicate through the door, only one person it seems can go through, but they can if we can still communicate through the door, we can still maybe try. That's kind of why I was asking before about like the images on the wall, whether there's something that could actually be pressed or touched or anything. But it sounds like it's more um it's like an I don't know, vision maybe, or some sort of magical image.
So I think my next question is who is the next person to go into this other room? Are Fen or Brennick going to return before Valixis steps in? What kind of thoughts does everybody have?
So, well, Vlixis still can't see. So, if we do want to try Fen's idea, it probably has to be one of us.
Yeah, I mean, the only way we can find out is if we try to see if we can communicate between floors or between rooms or whatever.
So who's going next?
Brannick will offer to step through.
Gotcha. So as before, when you touch the door and prepare to open it, you are going to cease to be on that side of the room, and as you disappear, you will find yourself pretty much on the opposite room, staring at that arachnid-like creature that's locked inside of the magic circle. And once again, inside of your head, you'll hear, starting to feel how lost you truly are. Are you ready to deal? Sign your contract. Both of us will only give your soul.
So Brannick is gonna kind of like watch it and let it finish, and then going to turn back and call out, Fen, can you hear me?
Ben hears nothing, and you nothing in return. They are far removed. Myself and you, this place. Free me, and I can help you find the freedom that you seek.
Now let's be clear. When you say this place, you are you referring to?
Kind of like rolling out the contract a little bit and showing you the actual area where the contract outlines the idea of what you all are helping each other to do. It basically is simply going to kind of refer to um, just the general place where you are stuck. So you can kind of see effectively it is trying to get out of the circle that it is within. Um, kind of the thing is, let's say it's like the devil needs to be freed from the magic circle here in the place I am stuck. Um, kind of the type of thing that you would be in. Um, freedom from the place where you are stuck. Basically, it is referring to a um, metaphysical place more than necessarily saying you're stuck here. And that'll kind of make sense with a little bit of the realization that Fen has walked out of this tower. Fen knows that you guys can leave this place. You're not locked in the tower. It's locked in the tower, but you guys are stuck here. So it's just a question of what is keeping you, and it can help you.
Gotcha. Okay.
And probably let me get an intelligence here. Yep, that works.
I don't know. Brent, I'm almost wondering, like, maybe the place is something different for whoever signs the contract. Malleable term. I don't know if anybody checked because there were a couple bookcases in this other room. Nick just wants to take a look and see if there's anything on the pieces, anything that catches his eye.
I think the bookcases are effectively like degraded with time. Anything that remains on them might give you like little clues into the actual titles of things. Let's see, you can read the Dwarvish. So without like fully understanding like the wordings, you can certainly recognize that many of these titles kind of have um, at least meaning to you in reference to appreciating that this is a tower or a place of study related to conjuring things of other natures, um, but without kind of like a greater understanding of the language, can't necessarily pick up too much. Any of the actual books that you do touch, it's going to be one of those things where like the spine and everything just kind of crumbles away with contact.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so he'd like touch one or two and then kind of seeing that they're just kind of disintegrating.
I think on the opposite side of that, Fen did manipulate the actual desk and see that the papers on top of it, like the parchment, is still intact, but it's all blank.
Okay. So it's similarly to how I was watching the cage in the other room. If I watch the kind of keep an eye on the symbols for some minutes.
Every minute or so, one of them is going to glow brighter than the other, and then every minute or so, it's going to switch to another one.
And does this also seem random?
Um, Assuming you kind of do the same thing and you take just like 5 minutes and just use five as your sample size, it's going to at least feel like you're following the same pattern. If you want to invest more time in it, let me know how long you were spending inside of there.
I mean he suspects that it's probably random, so he would probably not spend as much time. 5 or 6 minutes, and then assuming like not like an immediate kind of pattern, like one repeat another.
The whole time you're in there, the devil is going to continue to tell you, you're never going to find freedom on your own. Tell me when you are ready to free yourself, release your soul, and all of your wishes can be granted. Only ask. But it's basically going to spend that entire 5 minutes basically just like breaking down your will to assume that you have what it's taking. This thing is like emotionally abusive to no end.
Yeah, so Brannick's like trying to do his best to kind of just shove his voice out of his head, but he kind of growing frustrated. He figure out. He imagined there must be some sort of trick to this place. So aside from the devil that he's just not seeing. But I think at this point he's going to like another look back towards the devil, and then he's going to walk back through that should lead back to the others and just kind of tell them, okay, here's what I tried, and assuming he can get back through the second
Which one are you going through? Through the right door? Through the east?
Yeah, so not back the way he came in.
Okay. So you're going back through the west. Yeah, you can walk through that western door, and you walk right back out to see the others still inside of that room.
And so then he kind of tells them out of ideas unless we decide to take the death. Because if I recall too, when Fen left the tower, doors locked behind him.
Of sorts. You guys figure out what the issue was when Fen stepped out. Do Don or Felixis, Don or Rashad know what happened there?
Oh wait, was it when? Sorry, was it when Fen moved far enough away the doors locked again?
Indeed. So there's something about Fen that is triggering the locks that Felixis does not. And I think other than that, because Felixis yelled and basically told Fen to back away from the door, and when you backed away and when Fen backed away,